Hi, Scott. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you too,
Welcome
Yvonne.
back.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to continue on from when we had met last time.
Okay, sure.
We had talked about your Catholicism and your faith, and
Yes.
now I know that during services, because I've been to a few weddings, that the Lord's Prayer, I believe, is recited.
Yes.
Is there additional prayer that is?
Yeah, there is. There's some singing. There's a lot of group prayer and also obviously individual prayer. Obviously, we can do confessions, things of that nature,
Okay.
and with one-on-one with our Father and the priest, and
Okay.
do that if need be to try and cleanse oneself.
Right. So if I were to say, if there was something that you were wishing would happen,
Sure.
then you could reach out to God through
Yes.
like a meditative prayer. Is that
Absolutely,
correct?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
One-on-one, you feel like you're speaking with the Lord and ask Him for help. And,
Okay. Okay. Well, that kind of gives me a good thought on that. Now let's kind of change directions here.
Sure.
Besides your faith and religion, is there anything else that maybe you used to do before your diagnosis that you miss or would like to?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time helping younger children. My son, for instance, I have my couple of sons who are now older, but I used to coach them both in football and baseball, and I do really enjoy that. Working with the kids and being able to teach them and show them things and how to play the games right.
Okay. So is that something that you might want to do again? I know your sons are grown, but
Yeah, I could certainly look into trying to do that to kind of give a diversion to what's going on right now.
Right, right.
I've also was involved in volunteer work. When I was younger, I used to live in Southern California for a time, and I did beach cleanups and things of that nature. So certainly volunteering my time.
And when you would do that volunteering, and how would that make you feel? I mean, how?
It was rewarding. You felt like you were doing good for the community, for the kids. That just teaching them made me feel good. That I could kind of mold them as to how I wanted them to be.
Okay. So helping them kind of, in essence, helped you. Am I correct?
Yeah, I would say that's correct. That I could use that to make me feel good about what I was doing.
Okay. Well, that kind of gives me another idea about what we could talk about. I had one other question.
Sure.
Has there ever been anything in your life? I want to talk about hope, about believing in something.
Okay.
Is there anything that like you really wished could happen? And describe that for me if there is.
Well, it might sound kind of corny, but as I mentioned to you before, I really was into sports, and being from Boston, the Red Sox had never won the World Series back in 2004, and it was, it'd been 86 years now.
Wow.
Obviously, I didn't there for all of that, but many years of disappointment as an avid sports fan, and watching them and come up short a lot of times in different things, from the 75 World Series to 78 and 2003, and then finally break through their curse in 2004. And it was very exciting. I had my very first game that I ever went to. My father bought me tickets where we sat behind third base in the Yankees dugout. He's no longer with us, but it was something that I know he always wanted to see happen. So I think when it happened in 2004...
so it did happen.
It did. They finally won. Yes. They finally won, and it brought great joy to a lot of fans that were long suffering.
Right, and I see you lit up when you talked about that.
So that was a lot of fun. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's something that seemed like you had a lot of hope, and that brought joy to your life. Now, was there something?
Hope, but there was also a lot of frustration,
a lot of heartache.
Right. But when they did finally win, yes, it was a lot of hope.
Yeah, but sometimes there is heartache before we get that hope and get what happens for us. Now, was there something? I know a lot of people when a World Series or a Super Bowl is won. Was there something that you bought to commemorate that?
Oh yeah, I bought a lot of different souvenirs, and back then even having paper clippings and other things. But I did buy myself a nice windbreaker jacket. The Red Sox one, kind of like the pitchers wear when they come out on the field. So I have that, and I still have it to this day.
So that's something you remember that you.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to give you a homework for our next session. I'm going to give you a lot of homework. It's going to sound. I know you've got a lot going on.
Homework
yes, you get homework.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. So for our next session, if you could, I would like to see. I know there's a local football team that has some underprivileged young boys on it. I'd like to see if I can get you to, depending on how you're feeling, to go and help them for just a couple hours and
that might be a good idea.
Right. And then another thing I want you to do, you had mentioned Southern California, which is beautiful. So if you could, I know we can't go to Southern California, but
good this time.
we're gonna talk about maybe doing some prayer and some meditation. So if you can kind of have that mindset that you think that you bring yourself back there to California, that seems like it could really work. And one last thing, if for our next session, if you could bring your windbreaker or your jacket from the World Series win.
Okay, I can
and
do
if
that.
you could do those 3 things for me, and then I'll kind of talk about how I believe that these treatments would help you in your sadness and your I know you're a little nervous and about your upcoming treatments. I think I might have some ideas for you. Okay? So if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
I could do that. Okay? That sounds like a
and
good chance.
I will see you next week.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. You're welcome.